Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever this finds you, whenever this finds you. Today, we are carrying on with our quarantine campaign, playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, playing through the 2013 adventure, Legacy of the Crystal Shard. And we will also be stealing some elements from the most recent adventure published by Wizards of the Coast, the Icewind Dale, at least most recent at the time of recording, Icewind Dale Legacy, Rime of the Frost Maiden. So if you are intending on playing Rime of the Frost Maiden at some point, this session will likely have spoilers for that. So if you want to avoid those spoilers, I would come back to this session at another time. If you don't care about the spoilers, or if you're intending on reading or running Rime of the Frost Maiden, or you don't care about Rime of the Frost Maiden, then welcome. Let me introduce you to our Quarantine Crusaders for today. First up, I have Mo. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently?
Hi, I'm Morris. I'm playing Thomas Branner, who is a 7th level fighter from the Southern Towns.
Nice. Next up is Andrew.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew. I am playing Kola Hammerstone, Dwarven Priest of Clangeddon Silverbeard.
Very nice. And what level are you?
Oh, right. I am 5. No, 6. 6? 6, I think.
Nice. All right, and last but certainly not least is our resident armorsmith, Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I am playing Lex Wiltshire. He is a half-elven ranger of Myliki of the 6th level.
Very nice. So last time, guys, we had a bit of an eventful session. It was a shortened one because I forgot to set my alarm, so we started late. But we made up for it in some pretty eventful role-playing developments. So what happened yesterday, guys?
Right, well, we eventually got back to the other Goliath tribe at the map hasn't loaded for me yet. No, wrong mouse. Sorry.
Sky Tower, you guys went to?
Sky Tower Shelter. There was some discussion about this suggested meeting, which I think went rather well, but the fact that we'd met the spirit of hunger in the valley caused a few problems, and the fact that it tried to dominate people was
By people, who do you mean?
For some people, the Goliaths. At least obviously not in character as Tom, is they knew he attempted to run off, so they are somewhat worried about his stability, shall we say. I think eventually we did, after some...
Sorry, I forgot to mute my second computer. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. But after some diplomatic intervention, I think we managed to persuade some of the more open to negotiation rather than the hardliners. And I think we had agreed in principle to... or they had agreed in principle to meet their fellow Goliaths from Wormdoom Crag. Actually, it does somewhat remind me of Star Trek 6, I think, in this one. A little. In terms of the relationship between Kirk and the Klingons. So I think that's pretty much where we left it.
Dave, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I think we actually ended it with Tom standing on the cliffside going, "Yes,
sorry, I'd
Master
forgotten.
Vampire." So it's obvious that Mo's got a problem with that.
No, sorry.
It's blocked out of his.
My new friend.
So Tom and Kola are like BFFs now. We have like random influences from other things corrupting our souls. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lex just might join the White Witch because this seems like the way things are going in the world. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You. Oh, 1 second here. I'm trying to adjust my gain so I can actually hear myself in my head here, but it's making my audio spike again. So Okay. So then, guys, what we left with was with a tentative agreement. Like I said, Mo, a tentative agreement for the Akhenathi Goliaths to agree to meet up with the Tunlaka in that valley, the Valley of Winds between the two tribes there. Let me move us down here. So right around here, or at least that's what was agreed to. Now, one thing we didn't say, the people at Wyrmdoom Crag, like, they're not coming automatically. When I watched yesterday's session again, and they were waiting to hear back from you guys as to when they're going to meet up. They weren't going to wander out in the middle of this winter and just wait in the canyon.
Okay,
so
But we're sending someone on a griffin, right?
yes.
I thought we'd made some kind of arrangement to meet us in a certain number of days, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because they just don't know whether or not he will agree to that.
Right.
If
So we're going to send Falcarol on a griffin?
yeah, I think Falcarol will go on the griffin to there, and then the distance. Let's see here, because they're going as the griffin flies as opposed to. All right, so that's about 10 miles. It might be just a day's travel. Because let's check griffin speed here. Okay. Oh my gosh, yeah. Griffin's got a speed of 30. So I think it's 60 miles in a day it can travel.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's going to be a couple of hours for it to reach Wyrmdoom Crag. I mean, the weather is going to be a little bit, let's say it's about 2/3 of the normal speed, but even then, at, what did I measure it at? 40?
There was no wind today, so...
But there's still going to be some, I guess, no winds on the ground level. If they're flying through the mountains, it's going to be more choppy, even on the best of days. It just means that they can travel right now, as opposed to if there was wind, that they would not be able to travel at all.
Right.
So it's 8 miles, but that's... So let's think here. If they can travel 60 miles in good weather, that's 40 miles in inclement weather. And that is a quarter of their travel time. So it's about 2 hours to get there, 2 hours to get back. They could have a response for you today.
Okay.
So what message do you guys want to send to the Tunlaka Griffin or Goliaths? We're assuming that Falcarol's the one delivering it, so.
Well, we want them to, please join us in the Valley of the Winds to hunt the spirit of hunger together, Goliaths and I don't know what we call ourselves, interlopers.
Interlopers.
And together we'll vanquish this foe, and then Falcarol, just lay it on thick, make sure they show.
Okay. So then, where you guys will be traveling will be around here. Yeah, why am I not pinging? There we go. I guess I could have used the arrow. That would have been easier. So it's in here, guys. Somewhere in there is supposed to be the tomb of the Spirit of Hunger.
Okay.
And I suppose, so the question is are you guys going in as a big invading kind of group, or do you want to try and mount an army against this, or are you thinking surgical strike team, take some of the best warriors from each and have them come in and join?
I think we could do it ourselves. It's really how Lex is thinking, but we want to get the Goliaths, even a token force from each, a couple of Goliaths and their leaders, to join us in some way, or so that they can unite against a common enemy and at least use that maybe to help the reparations.
Now, are you thinking of doing Like, what's the sort of plan for infiltration? Assume that the gnolls that he had with him are not the entire. It's like the tribe of Goliath. There'd be some of them that would be with him hunting, and some would be back. Either,
Right.
yeah. So, do you wish to avoid them and just try and make your way into the wherever this thing's lair is, or do you wish to, go full on?
Maybe we should talk to the Goliaths about that, and ask them what their thoughts are. If there is a tribe of gnolls here and they are under the persuasion of the spirit of hunger, is that something a threat to their food source or a threat to their lands that they would want to participate in? Do they want us to eliminate the gnolls? Or?
The gnolls don't hunt the same lands that they do, so they're not really concerned about them. If they had been, they would have dealt with them. And to be honest, like the Goliaths are more likely to just move to more inhospitable lands. They can survive at incredible elevations, so they're they don't really need to fight the gnolls in order to go on to win. At least as far as they measure winning. But the for them, I mean, they just don't have the numbers, they think, is what the gnolls do. They have not explored the region there. I suppose what they could do is send a scout over, but the concern there is that it may, if you see a griffin flying over your camp, that might.
We don't want to alert them that we're coming. So.
Precisely. So I suppose the next question is if you're gonna not face them head on and try and like fight your way through, because that's what he has them for. If you fight the gnolls first, they're fighting on Tekilili's terms. That's what he wants people to do, is blunt themselves against the gnolls, and then he'll pick off or take advantage of. Like what's her name? Kenyatta said, it's a spirit, it's a trickster spirit as well as a spirit of hunger.
Yeah. So, hey Tom, how do you feel about standing watch at the gate for a little while, making sure that we're safe? No, wait, that's a bad idea.
Okay, yeah.
No, actually, what Lex is trying to think of is find a way to get Bola aside when Tom's not around.
You could have definitely found that over the course of the day or so that you guys were here.
Assuming you're doing that while we ended the cutscene with me staring out into the snow and you're around the fire. So if you want to do that part.
Yeah.
Basically, Lex is like...
Yeah, so there's somewhat...
don't know the extent of Tom's affliction, Cola, so I don't know how this works. So I'm wondering if you have any insight as to, when you're not in your right headspace, maybe what would Tom be capable of?
Oh, sure. Pick on, because we're all of us have the same, all us crazies are the same. I don't have a great deal of experience with the particular affliction of our friend Tom. I can't imagine, but with me, I think we both know that I've done a number of things without realizing I was doing them. I had no recollection that I had been digging up bodies and taking pieces of shard. There is a possibility that our friend may say or do things that are not in his control, but also that he's not aware that he's doing. And I struggle with this because on the one hand, I think the Goliaths have a point. Our friend might be dangerous, but so I'm also out of character, kind of struggling because I wasn't here. And so feel free, Kevin, to like I know you already would. But, like,
so
feel free to stop me if I say more than I would know.
Absolutely.
I'm struggling with what I know.
Tom, why don't you or Mo? Why don't you give Andrew just a quick impression of what Andrew said he watched yesterday's session or parts of yesterday's session.
Yeah, but I skimmed it. So.
Yeah. He only watched the parts that had me in it, so I mean that's understandable.
Well, like, so I know we lost Longclaw.
Yeah.
He fell in that battle, but
yeah.
And I know that Tom's been affected, and I know that the Goliaths. I know that the party's aware that Tom has been affected. So, and I know that the Goliaths were not super happy about this.
One of the things we were talking, I can't remember if we were talking about it on stream or we were talking about it after the session, but like one of the things that Mo's doing a really, really great job of doing is role-playing what the effect of the charm spell is. Because a charm spell isn't mind control like that. There's a specific spell called Domination that does that. Charm just makes you view everything from the target of your charm in the most favorable way. It doesn't make you throw out your personality or stuff like that. It just you treat them as like a trusted and dear friend. And that's really what Mo's been doing. He's trying to reconcile like, well, no, this Longclaw had to die because he was mad. The spirit was driven mad. And he doesn't understand why everyone wants to go and help these Goliaths who don't seem to want to help us. But this guy, my friend, wants to help us. He wants to offer us warmth and room. And though he's still friends with you guys, so he's not leaving it to blows, but he seems to think that you guys are being foolish by not taking advantage of the assistance offered by his new friend.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so effectively he's blocking out the fact that his friend is the creature Tickley that we're going to attack.
Yeah, precisely.
So as far as he can, he's just a friend, and it's Tickley that drove Longclaw mad, and his friend said, well, we've got to kill him.
Okay.
So at some stage there's going to be a conflict. I mean,
but we ended the session with like camera on Tom saying yes, master, to the vampire essentially.
Yeah. So the player characters don't know that, but you as the players get to enjoy that knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sort of this is somewhat out of character. So as far as him, he's quite happy to go along with the attack, but at some stage there might be some sort of that triggers it, into a fugue state or something. So he starts acting, or he might. You'll have to let me know if you think he would accidentally, knock something to let Tickley know that it's coming. But if it's going to work like that, I would subconsciously give us away.
Yeah.
So the party knows he's afflicted. Do we know it's a vampire specifically?
You know that.
Well,
so
we know it's this spirit,
ahead,
isn't it? It's not a traditional vampire. Well, presumably they do have those in the south, so all the things about the staking and the garlic. But this is just a spirit of hunger.
Even that, there are varieties of it.
Yeah.
It's like the thing with the undead in general is that it's hard to conclusively say, oh, that's the one thing, and with spirits like what the two rangers, they have their favorite enemy is undead, so they've got some knowledge of that stuff as well. And what they say is that these things can come in there are certain things that are mostly or seem to be most common about vampires or spirits of hunger, things that feed on the life of others, but that can come in a wide variety of different expressions as well too, not only for the individual spirit but also for like the species, like lycanthropy can it's a different thing, it's not undeath there, but like that can express itself in different ways with different species.
Okay, so then it's fair that Cola, Cola recognizes that what is affecting Tom is certainly different than what is affecting him. He doesn't necessarily know a lot about the specific thing that is targeting Tom or how that magic would affect him.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
One of the ways to think of it too is that yours affected the priority of interests on which you would act, whereas his put a lens over the way he's judging the merits of his actions.
Right. So in a way, whereas, Lex, in a way, what is or was or what is still afflicting me, essentially forces me to focus on the shard specifically, but forces me to focus on a thing to the exclusion of all other things, including all of you and your interests and my interests in and my care for my friends. All of that in these moments is pushed to the side. It strikes me that what
I'm just
Tom,
worried that Tom might not see things the way we see things, and at some point either betray us or unknowingly betray us, like you might have.
Lex had a brief insight. The reason he's so keen on this as well is because he had a brief insight as to what this control would be like. It's only by virtue of his uncanny ancestry that actually allowed him to shake free of the potential control of this thing.
Yeah, I failed my save, and then the elven ancestry, my 30%, saved me.
So Lex, tell me then. I mean, what's afflicting Tom is different in that it doesn't seem to become an obsession for him like it does for me. It doesn't seem to prioritize things so much as, because our friend Tom's not acting any different towards us. He doesn't seem to be viewing us as any different. It's just it seems that. How did it feel for you? And when was it some sort of voice? Was it an influence? Was it distraction? Did you look at the rest of us any differently?
Well, it was fleeting, very brief. It was almost like I saw that creature as not an enemy, but like in a very powerful sense. So,
whereas I tell you right now, when I was under the influence, and not recently, I'm talking more when we were back in the Dwarven Valley, when I had that medallion around my neck.
That beautiful medallion.
Beautiful, just and the way it sparkled and captured the light. And it just, did you see it? Did you ever see? I imagine Lex will slap me upside the head at some point. Yeah. My point being, when I was wearing it, I make no mistake, I saw you, and I saw Tom, and I saw Falcarol, all of you, as enemies, as people I needed to kill, people standing in the way between me and what was rightfully mine. But it wasn't in service to another person or another creature. It was to me.
What I'm worried about, though, is that Tom doesn't necessarily see us as enemies, and he still sees us as allies and friends. But if his friendship with this creature becomes strong enough, or, you know what I mean? Like, if you're putting one friend against another and you see one friendship as stronger, you might. Like, will Tom defend this creature against us? I don't know.
It's possible, yes.
It also seems
I basically just wanted to warn you and have a quick discussion about this because I'm nervous about it.
Well, one of the things
I'm just trying to put your heart at ease.
One of the things you guys can also pick up is that, Tom is adamant that Longclaw was possessed by an evil spirit, and that's why, it needed to die, regardless. excuse me, of how it, whether it died at the hand of gnolls. But he seemed to think it needed to die anyway. Thank God the gnolls did the job for us, but it needed to die. So you do have insight into how it is able to change the lens through which he sees relationships. What if he said the same thing against you guys?
If he
Tom actually said it was the spirit that drove Longclaw mad.
Yeah.
He's ignoring the fact that the spirit is the one who's his new friend, but in his mind, that's how it works. Because he jumped out and he attacked the gnolls because they're obviously bad.
Yeah.
So what's to stop this friend from convincing Tom that Cola's under the control of the black ice and has gone mad or something like that? And that's what Lex is worried about, and that's what he wanted to briefly talk about. So I don't know, is there any way that you have you have any abilities to? You've mentioned your protection from evil in the past as a potential defense against the black ice. Is there any way to dispel or
Protection from evil is more of a proactive solution to an anticipated problem. It can't really be applied to this situation. It can't remove something that's already in play.
Could you use that if we fight this creature to keep yourself from becoming?
It's possible that could be of benefit to us. Yes.
Hold on, unless you're fibbing. Give me a sec here. I don't think that's actually right with Dispel Magic.
Oh no, we're talking about protection from evil.
Oh, okay.
Protection. I mean, I could be wrong, and I'm open to that. This is just Cola's interpretation, but protection from evil strikes me as something you cast in order to prevent becoming influenced by.
Yes.
It doesn't retroactively get rid of something.
No, it does. You're absolutely correct. Sorry, I thought I was clearly not listening.
No, and I'm trying to be careful here because
here we go. So there's actually an example in the description. Any attempt to exercise mental control over the protected creature, if, for example, it had been charmed by a vampire, or to invade and take over its mind as by a ghost's magic jar attack, is blocked by the spell. Note that the protection does not prevent a vampire's charm itself, nor end it, but it does prevent the vampire from exercising mental control through the barrier. Likewise, an outside life force is merely... Yeah. So it could definitely, in theory, keep Tom from being affected by them. It wouldn't remove the enchantment.
Oh, I see. Okay,
yeah, but it would.
So the protection from evil could benefit us here, both in terms of making the rest of us less susceptible to a vampire's charm in the first place, but also could still maybe help Tom in that he would still be charmed and he would still have that voice, or he would still have that influence, but it would make it less likely that Tom would act on the things that he's being told to do.
And is there any way that you know of to try and counter what has happened to him?
That one I will have to do a little reading, because the player, Andrew, who controls me, is trying very hard not to metagame about Dispel Magic.
Well, you would know, like, I mean, it's not metagaming to know what your character, like what the spells do and how they might affect things. That's just being
more of a, do I happen to have that on me? Do I have it in my scrolls?
You don't need it on your scrolls. It's one of your granted spells that you have access to as a player, as a character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a third level. Dispel Magic is a third level pre-spell.
Well, yeah. Okay, so I guess I can assume that any level priest spell through Cola's training as an allegory years back, he would just know these.
Yeah, it's okay. Like the way that I see the priest spells, because you prepare them each day and you don't have like a list of things that you go through. I see it more as like it's getting more and more access to greater miracles and greater works of faith that can be acted with your god's power.
I see.
You know, so like you do have to prepare them. You know, gods are limited in this world as is everything else. In their power and how they express it and whatnot, which is reflected in you being able to, you know, at your point of your character's development, you're only able to prepare a certain number of those prayers and a certain level of those prayers. But as you gain more of a connection with the divine, you will find yourself able to work greater and greater miracles, as opposed to mages who just draw on these ancient secrets that were learned of how to trick the universe through the weave into doing what you want it to do.
Right. Okay. So then, yeah, the answer is simple. Yes. By tomorrow, I would need to prepare it, but yes, I can try to dispel or excise this influence of Tom entirely. I make no guarantees of this, but I can call on Clangeddon and hope that he's willing.
So, assuming that you guys will have a group of between 4 and 6 of you guys, between the player characters and Ostin, how many champions from each of the tribes would you want with you?
Probably like 3.
3 from each, so 6 in total, or 10 in total, or 12?
Maybe 2.
2 from
we
each.
don't want to
Okay.
make this too like metagaming. We don't want to make this some kind of giant party.
Well, it may also be, if you're the larger the party, the harder it is to keep all of you hidden.
Yeah.
You know, one of the advantages you guys have of your small group and the size of the adversaries is that it's relatively easy for you guys to remain hidden, especially with 2 rangers in the party as well. Right? Whereas if you bring... what do you call it? If you're bringing... I mean, the Goliaths are likely going to send someone who can do that, but 2 from each is probably an ideal number. So, I was going to pull up... So, where is it? Okay. I'm just going to pull up my rules for Goliaths. Right here. All right. So I think what they would send is a fighter thief, a ranger, a scald. I think that's scald that you guys made friends with in Doom Crag,
Okay.
and a druid. So you'll have a low-level druid, a low-level ranger coming from Sky Tower Shelter, and you'll have a scald and a fighter thief. And the fighter is likely going to take the forester kit, so that will give them ranger-like abilities as well.
Cool.
Okay. So I should write that down. I should find a pad of paper. What the shit? Okay. So then, is there anything you guys want to do today before? If you're going to try and do the Dispel Magic tomorrow, then you may want to do other things today. Or he's waiting to get word from Doom Crag.
I don't know if there's anything else that I would need to do. Our equipment is... How's our equipment doing? Do I need to do some work on the tent?
I think the tent's okay. I think since your repairs were made, the tent's been holding up pretty well.
Okay. I guess I could go out and look for herbs at some point. I mean, we're in shelter and a community right now, so we're relatively safe. I'm not super eager to go out on my own.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Dave. We're just trying to think of what else we have to do today. We're gonna do Dispel Magic. We're gonna try to dispel the magic tomorrow, and I'll take a couple protections from evil as well. I forget. I'm looking them up in the compendium. I forget where they are, what level and stuff.
One other thing that that happened in that session was a wolf came and visited, and it's got a white tuft of hair on its forehead that kind of Valkyro recognized as like the symbol of Myliki. It's like a unicorn horn, but it's just colored hair.
Well, and the creature also, the species of wolf, you guys identified as something that it's not native to this region.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we really need to do today. To rest up, heal up.
Okay.
Get ready.
Okay.
Pull your I want to heal you and those
swap some spells out. Actually, yeah, before I go to bed, I should probably heal. I'm noticing I'm a little low here. So I'll do 2 Cure Lights, I guess, on myself.
Okay.
Wow, Cola. well done. Well,
no. A Cure Light is a D8.
Oh, okay. Scratch that. Back down to 32 before I do this wrong. Okay, so right, you are right. Of course, I am being silly. There you go. It's a little bit better. And then the rest I'll get from sleeping. So
Yeah. And it'll take about 2 days for them to meet. What the suggestion is that you guys meet on the right around here at the bend of the river on the western side, because that is free from the if you guys are correct and the Spirit of Hunger can't cross moving water, then that would be a safe place to meet. Okay. So that wolf continues to follow you around, Lex. So you've effectively got a companion that will be following along with you for the time being. Let me think here. So you'll have at least 2 more days worth of time to, to do whatever you want in your downtime. Cole, if you want to go looking for herbs on one day, go ahead and give us a percentile roll. Let's do that first day first.
One is relatively safe.
Yep. 9. Wow. Yeah. Then give us another.
Dave, on my before I rested the first day, I'll take the third my third cure light on you. Help you close the distance to if you're down 7, because then well, there you go.
Nice.
Distance closed.
Excellent.
And that way, then the next day I'll have prepared. I'll take 2 of my cure lights out, put 2 protection from evils in, because they're touch spells, not area. So I'll do 1 for me and 1 for Tom. Sorry, Dave, but I just figure like keeping the healer out of the influence of bad guys is probably a good idea.
Remember the duration of protection from evil is only like 3 rounds per level or something like that.
3 rounds per level, so be that in my case 18 rounds.
Yeah, so that's like 3 minutes.
And given our combats, so that's like the first like half of the combat.
Well, I'm more so like if you guys will know that you're not going to be able to set out to meet up with the contingent from Wormdoom Crag for 2 more days afterwards.
Right, it's the protection from evil is probably more important. Like when we go and meet, rather like we can. If Tom
it's
can
totally your call. Your character wouldn't. I mean, there is definitely value of not having Thomas affected by this thing's influence. You don't know whether it can affect him from this distance, but probably not a bad thing to not have him controlled. Though the duration of your spell is pretty.
Yeah, I would basically have to take all my first level spell slots as protection from evil, and just like every keep
spamming
few
them.
hours touch him. Hey Tom, come here. It's time for your booster shot.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty confident that the Goliaths and everybody else here would be more than capable of containing Tom if shit got out of hand.
Have you seen Tom fight?
Oh, I have. I have grappled with him. I know what Tom's capable of. There's a lot of Goliaths here. All right. So on day 2. Fine, we'll do it. Because if we're gonna have a couple days anyway, I will, as an experiment anyway, I'll try to cast protection from evil. No, we'll do dispel magic first. That's the bigger option. Let's try to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you would probably know that it's going to be hard.
Probably. I don't know what I'm up against here.
Your difficulty check or whatever is like the opposition. So that's like the caster. So this ancient evil that you're trying to dispel from Tom is going to be like freaking difficult to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't...
So the way it works is you start with base chance of succeeding is an 11 or higher on a d20. Then the difference between your level and the number of hit dice of the creature that created the effect, that becomes...
the X factor here.
Exactly. So it's cool. This is actually how magic resistance used to work in first edition. They changed it for second edition, but it's another thing that makes like the power of the caster important for it, and I really like that.
Okay.
So you are currently 6th level, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then...
it's irrelevant anyway, because I'm going to roll a natural 20.
Well, actually, this is one of those things where you're not going to know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. All right. Cool. I like it. Let's diverge from.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've got. I think you've got detect magic at a first level thing. So if you want to know whether the enchantment is still there, you're free to cast that. But
Oh, right.
Or we just talk to Tom about his friend and see how his opinions
Yeah.
the same
Well,
or change.
I think too, and I'll have time to redo my spells. So sure, I can swap out my cure lights for now. I'm not going to need them immediately. So I'll take a detect magic as well.
okay.
And so we'll try that. We can try that after. But
Okay.
we'll see. Play it out and see how this happens.
All right. So let's see here. So your chance, your 6th level. I know how many hit dice this thing has. It starts at 11. Okay.
So a D20 roll.
Okay. So what does it look like? The Dispel Magic takes you... It's a very short time to cast. It's got a cast time of 6, so this is a matter of 10 seconds and the spell is gone. So you call on the power of Clangadin. You try and shatter this thing's control over Tom.
In this case, I imagine I'll clutch my holy symbol, say the incantations, and as the spell, as Clangadin deigns to intercede, a warm green light will emit from the magic from my holy symbol and burst out at Tom, lightly enveloping him.
Yeah. There's a sound of almost like sword hitting steel or an axe hitting steel that rings through the cavern in which you guys cast this. What do you guys do next?
Well, now we just have to. Because unfortunately, I kind of know whether or not this has taken effect. Tom, do you feel any different?
Oh yes, yeah, that seems to have fogged my mind. That seems to have done it.
Can I insight check him? Is that a thing?
Nope.
So basically, Tom, you know that your friend is a corruption of nature, and
Oh
Actually,
yes,
Cola.
yeah. I mean, I see it now. Cola's helped me with the spell.
I look at Dave, or I look at Lex. I should say that I can cast the spell, but it's not like Clanganin doesn't really give me a report, if you know what I mean.
There's no fax confirmation.
It does, there's no handshake involved. So I can't exactly be sure. Well, there is one way to be sure, and I'll look back at Tom, clutch my holy symbol again, and this time a bee or a ball of yellow light emanates from around me, outward towards Tom as I cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
To see if this is any way of. It goes out about it fills the space we're in.
10 by 30. So, let's see here.
It's still not a guarantee, as I say, as this thing goes off. But it's worth a shot.
you glance at Lex.
Check here.
He's glowing from head to toe.
Lex is glowing anyway. Usually.
So there are strong magical auras inflicting or like sort of mixed up with Tom's aura, but you can't.
I imagine there's a bunch going on.
However, you can't tell what it is though.
As the spell ends, I'll just be like, "Well, Lex, I don't know what to tell you. That's the best I can do for now."
To be clear as well, like you can tell there is something afflicting him personally, as opposed to his magic sword and any other magic items he has on.
Oh,
him.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that
I can distinguish between the magic of items and the magic of
absolutely.
person.
Yeah. Like detect magic allows you to detect whether you've got whether items have magic or there's an enchantment on something or a zone is enchanted. But what he can tell you, or what I did is I rolled for you as well too to see whether you could detect the type of magic, and I rolled a nat 20 for you, which means that it's completely unclear what it is.
Oh, okay. So in this case, natural 20 bad again.
Yeah, I just converted over to the 10%. It says 10% per level, so you'd had a 6 or higher, you had 30% chance.
Right.
of detecting, and unfortunately, no dice.
Well, I can do one more thing, but I can cast some magics that will hopefully keep whatever is afflicting him at bay.
Mm-hmm.
It will reduce the influence that this creature has, or that Tom's friend has on him. But you have to understand this. This will neither get rid of that influence entirely, and it's also, I can't do it for long. I'd have to keep doing it for it to have an effect over a long time, and I don't have enough power to keep it sustained over a whole day.
Then maybe it's not worth the effort.
I think it's one of those things that we keep for a decisive moment.
Yeah, if something happens, Tom starts acting funny, maybe.
But having said that, Lex, the Goliath might not be wrong. It troubles me to say this, having been in a similar situation myself, but I have learned to trust in my friends and to know that I don't always have the control over my faculties, and I've had to trust in you to protect me and know what's good for me at times. Maybe it will be prudent of us to put a watch on Tom, and I mean a guard.
If we could just take turns keeping an eye on him.
He may not like this. But, I mean, I'm still assuming Lex and Cola have managed to find a quiet space again to talk again privately. But
Cola, do you remember when you pulled your knife?
I do.
On me? I didn't like that. There's things we do for each other that we may not like, but we do it for each other's own good.
Mm.
Right.
Tom was going to tackle you when you were holding the necklace from the Yeti type,
Well, I know.
or when you were eyeing it. Sorry, went before Falcro took it off. Tom was coming up behind you. He was gonna tackle you and bury you to the ground if he had to.
I have no doubt.
We look out for each other, my friend.
That's precisely what I'm saying.
It doesn't have to be obvious. We just need to be around Tom.
I think we can manage that. Of course, we still have my little affliction to monitor, so hopefully you've got many eyes.
I do.
This is the tenor of the campaign going forward. Is it's going to be progressive, different things taking control of you guys?
Yeah.
I'll Spirit Naga come in next to take care of Lex, and we'll have a ghost magic jar into someone else. It'll be great. All right. So getting back to the herbalism, that was a great roll. Why don't you give us a percentile roll, please, Andrew?
Oh, right. Yep. I gotta get some herbs back after losing them all to the wind.
I was just laughing. I rewatched the Friday session of the Aarakocra, the lead-in of the burial for the Aarakocra involving 11 herbs and spices.
Wait. Wait. Sorry, you said another.
Oh, so Aarakocra in the Night Below game.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
we haven't. Wait, that Aarakocra. I gotta heal him at some point. I'm just waiting for better magic.
Yeah.
Herbs and spices. I remember that part.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So what you find is... give me a percentile roll, please.
All right. Oop. Come on, mouse.
Okay. What you find is let me think what this would be. I think it's a weed with this like thick, like almost like stocky, like rhubarb kind of what do you call it? Like shafts to it with small, ugly looking kind of florets on the top. But if you break the thing open, there's this blackened goo that kind of is the sap inside. And if you take that stuff and you reduce it down, you can create a really a nasty oil that can be applied to weaponry, like to a slashing or a piercing weapon. And what it'll do is it'll grant +3 non-magical damage for 1 turn for 10 minutes.
+3 non-magical damage for... Okay.
And give us a 1d6 roll. Let's see how many doses you found here. One dose.
Well, all right.
Okay. So you have enough to make 1 dose of this stuff. So that's pretty good.
How many minutes again did you say? 1 minute?
Sorry, for 10 minutes, 1 turn.
Okay. All right.
And that's the oil of pain that you're making with it.
So, all right. Well, I will spend the rest of the day making that.
Okay. Lex, you had asked if it would be an insult to hunt on their lands. No. In fact, I think that if you want, one of the guys who is going to come with you, he will join you. And give me a second. I'm going to generate a name for this dude. Okay. All right, let's see here. How about Bocho Tall Shadow?
Cool.
That will be the... Okay. While I'm here, I'll write down the names of all the other ones. Okay. What is Tom doing during this time, incidentally?
Well, presumably they're having these sort of conversations without me present, so he's going to just go on as normal. So he'd probably volunteer to go on the hunt.
Okay.
On the second day.
Does Tom wear... He's got that heavy armor on, though, right?
Yeah, we can always take that off and just go in the cold weather gear if we think that would be better for hunting.
I've got a suit of leather on my studded leather on my ram.
Yeah, I think I sold mine. I can't remember right.
That sounds right to me.
I found this while we were out here. So I found the snow line or whatever.
Oh, you're
the magical hide armor that I'm wearing. I found that while we were adventuring. So I didn't just throw my studded leather out into the waste. It's sitting on the ram. So if you want to wear some studded, Tom, we could probably make it some adjustments. But
yeah. Okay. So you and Bocho will and Tom will head out to hunting. Because Bocho and Lex are rangers, then neither of you guys will count towards the total. So I'll still I won't affect the chance of finding prey. Lex, you want to give us a roll for looking for prey? It was your idea to hunt.
Yeah.
Successful. Hey. Let's see what you find. Would you give me a D6 roll, please? Okay. So your first hour of hunting, you guys come across 4. I think it'll be 4 hares. I'm not sure real world, I don't know if they'd be this high up. Oh, you know what? Maybe it is. It'll be some equivalent of like like mountain grouse or something, because it's small creatures. So each of these would feed one. So each of you guys can go ahead and give us a D10. Kola, why don't you roll for Bocho? That way you're not left out of hunting.
All right.
Okay. Select drops 2 of them. Oh, there are 4 available. Tom drops 1. And Kola drops 2. Or Bocho. So, yeah, you guys... You take down all the things that are available for that first hour. You have 4 rations that are added to the to the tribe's amounts. Do you guys wish to continue hunting, or do you wish to call it? I mean, Bocho will hunt probably for another 3 hours.
If we continue hunting, doesn't that trigger a potential random encounter?
Potential.
Feeling lucky today. We should keep hunting, guys.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Let me roll here. Okay.
Every time we're screwed, but we're,
Go ahead and roll your... what do you call it? So roll your hunting check percentage. Okay, so nothing in the second hour. However... However... Would you give me a percentile roll, please?
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, 70.
Dun.
And then another percentile roll, please. Well, I'll take Tom's second roll here. 41.
Sorry, I thought we were all doing individual ones.
Oh, no, that's okay. All right. So what you come across, actually, is... let's hear. Andrew, give me a 1d10 roll, please. A pack of 12 ghost Roth. And you maybe remember the Roth are those, like, big water buffalo-looking creatures that tend to lurk in the Underdark. They're also kept as food stock by giants, often. There's a pack... Ghost Roth here. Sorry, I don't think I've got a... Let me take a look here. Maybe I did load something at some point and forgot about it. Oh. Yeah, I don't have a... an image loaded, but basically it looks like a muskox.
Right.
But these ones...
I just want to confirm that you said ghost in front of the word room.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm less worried about the Roth part, more worried about the ghost part.
It is just it is a name given to... let's see here.
An undead herd of animals comes running at you.
Basically, yeah. So like that's what a Roth looks like. So imagine that, but just all white. So kind of like a water buffalo or a buffalo. And you find a pack of 12 of them. Now, where's my DMG? Jesus. Man, I was working on our Ravenloft one-shot, and I just have way too many extra books out right now, so it's harder to find in the pile. Okay. Now, let's see how far away these things are. Give me a D10 roll. Lex, you're the one who's leading the hunt. I'll roll for them.
Oh, we're surprised. Awesome.
Okay. So you were surprised. These things were not. So, Let's see how they're
Guys,
reacting to you.
Keep hunting. Feeling lucky today. Keep hunting.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. So, let's... give me a second. We actually need to set something up here, because you guys were surprised and they were not thrilled to see you. So,
buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. This is where that ranger animal empathy may come in handy here. Okay, Tom. Oh, Graham, I need Cola. Cola Hammerstone. Where are you? Oh, you're hiding over there. I see you. Don't think you can hide from me, boy.
So ghost is just a name for like mountain white ones?
In the same way that you would call, like, you know, I mean, to be honest, like a ghost pepper, or like a, you know, it's the coloring of it. It's not actual undead.
Yeah, well, initially I thought you were talking about like, undead herd of animals coming at us. I'm like, oh fuck.
That does sound a lot better.
It's way scarier. I'm like, oh, now it's just a herd of animals? Okay, no, we're good.
Okay. All right, let me see here. There we go. There we go. Boom. All right. Oh, and Tom's not... Wait, Tom is with you. Cola is not... Cola, I'm just going to use your token for... Oh, and Ostin is not either. Let me get him out of here.
Get out of town, Ostin.
Get out of there. Get out of there. Okay. And then I need some tokens for Ghost Wrath. Let's see here. In Scotland, they got these hairy cows they call hairy coos. And they look very much like Wraiths. I cannot find a picture of one. Alright, let's see here. Oh, hold on. For Pete's sake. Alright, I'm just going to have to use illustrations of cows. Which would be much less... Actually... Yeah, this will work better. So it's not quite the same, but we'll use bison as this. And this is the first time I've had an excuse to incorporate bison into a game, so that's great.
Are you talking like Manitoba bison?
Yeah.
Like, right here?
You know, over Christmas, that's what we should, if we have time, I'm going to finally run that Iron Kingdoms session for you. Because they have the Trollkin Long Riders, which is basically trolls that ride bison as cavalry. And
nice.
it's one of my favorite fucking things in fiction. Okay. It's a pretty good game in a really interesting setting too, so there's that. But also, you know, trolls on bison. Who doesn't love that? I guess the recipients of the charge. That's who doesn't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've played a plains rider on a large animal.
Oh, nice.
In RuneQuest, it's if you make contact with the hit.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
Literally just rip the arm off.
There's a great illustration in the RuneQuest Glorantha rulebook with that as well too. With one of the what are the Tarsus plains? I can't remember. Whatever the plains riders are, and it's got a same thing, like a Bronze Age cavalry rider on a buffalo. It looks so awesome. Okay, so speaking of awesome, let me bring you guys over here. So this is where you find yourselves, guys. And Lex, I'll put you at the front here. Cola's token will just be filling in for Bocho. And Lex, I think you're the one who you guys sort of, you can picture you come around you're probably closer down to where the tree line is, and you skirt around this pretty big copse of trees, and you don't know how the hell you missed this, and you come across a pack of ghost growth. So each of these things is about, 10 feet long. It's got to weigh 1,000 pounds. And as they turn towards you, there's condensation coming from the lead animal's snout as it's sort of snarling at you.
Well, it's time for some ranger animal empathy so we don't get stampeded.
Okay, let's take a look at the animal empathy for rangers. What you can tell right now, Lex, is that these things are in full-on threat display mode.
Oh, so I would know then that even if I could affect them, that I might not be able to affect them enough.
Possibly. Dealing with a wild animal trained to attack... Oh, no. Okay, hold on. If you carefully approach and tend to any natural animal, you can try and modify its reaction. So, just as a reminder, too, of how we do... how the reactions and your charisma and stuff like that play into this kind of game, I use the random roll of the encounter. That is, so I roll a number and then I compare that to one of 4 columns that is on its starting, basically what its starting relationship would be. Then that sets what the tone is, but your actions and your abilities and things like that can have an effect on that right now.
Is the wolf with us?
Would you have taken the wolf hunting? Probably, right? It probably would have stayed by your side.
The wolf would...
Yeah. Okay.
Can I signal for the wolf to go back?
Absolutely. So here we go. Let's put a wolf out here. And then let me just give you control over this here. You can see that wolf token, right, guys?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It looks like a Grimm's wolf.
Yeah, very much so. I couldn't find a good stone wolf picture yet. Or I haven't drawn one yet, I guess. It's the other way of thinking of it. Dave, you should have control over that token now?
Yep.
Okay. So, guys, let's drop into initiative, just to give some structure to this. Andrew, you missed yesterday's session, so let's everyone decide what you're going to do with your round. Bocho,
I'm assuming I just act on a 6 like the bears did.
No, because they are large-sized. No, the reason that the bears act on a 6 is because they're large size and they're using natural attacks. Bocho would use whatever weapon he's using. However, because of his... Oh, he's not large size, though. It's the things that are large size get the benefit of reach. He doesn't get that. Okay. So then, Andrew, would you kindly beat... for those listening at home, forgive me, I forgot to flip my camera again. That's the last thing I'll have to fix for this new setup. Please beat my 7.
Funny, it looks fine on mine.
You know why? It's only when it's broadcast, because I can't remember what thing flips it, but because it's like the camera and then to the stream and then whatever, it ends up flipping it. 9. Okay.
So what do I use though for his?
He has longbow, whatever the longbow is.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know. I've got an image for Goliath Warrior, but I don't have a sheet.
Oh, you do not? No, not yet. We just what I'll do is between now and next session, I'll write these guys up and add them in so that we've got. I have the names for everyone who'll be joining you too. Bocho Tall Shadow is the ranger. Joliku Softwind is the druid. And Osco Pinestrider is the fighter thief. She will be joining you. And Gernig Ironsinger is the Scald, who will be joining you. Now, that's assuming you survive these things. The rest of the heroes may be joined by a bunch of new Goliath characters. So, all right. Then, Lex, what? So everyone put down what you're doing. I'm acting on a 7.
I'm thinking animal empathy is probably like a +4.
To use a skill or ability, I think we've been saying 3. Let me double check. Like to use thief abilities, I think we've been saying 3 or 5. Let me see here. Yeah, let's say 3. An innate spell ability is 3, so that sounds about right.
Oh, there you go, weapons.
So this is interesting. Being on higher ground doesn't necessarily give you an attack modifier for AD&D, but what it does give you is a -1 to your to your initiative. Yeah, neat. Okay, so you're on a 12. What are the rest of you guys doing? I think a longbow is, I want to say 8.
Yeah, I just found the equipment lists in the PHP. I'm just looking up.
Sure.
Longbow 8. There we go.
8. Okay. And then Tom, what are you doing?
I'll have brought the glaive with me, so I'm going to... Where am I?
I'm assuming the glaive is not... to be honest, I don't think you would, because you're hunting.
Oh, it's just too bulky for hunting. Okay,
yeah, like... you would have had to set that down every time you would have. You probably had your bow out if you were hunting.
Yeah, assuming we managed to find some arrows somewhere.
Oh, the tribe could have supplied you with arrows.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we might need to buy some before we go as well. In that case, he will... The first sign of them, he'll have slung his bow quickly and prepared his sword,
Okay.
I suppose.
Okay, so that's what you'll be doing this round then. Okay. So...
Can I move during that?
You don't trust your eye?
I'm getting out of the way. Can I move as I'm doing that?
Okay. All right.
Can I do a half move or?
Hold on. No. Remember, we're putting initiative in right now.
Oh, I'm surprised. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're not surprised. It's just we need you to put your same as the start of every combat.
So that's just a straight movement, isn't it?
If all you're doing is if you're readying weapons,
storing it. So that's,
hold on, Mo. I'm trying to talk here. If what you're doing is readying weapons, remember it's an action to stow a weapon, so that might be your action for the round. If you're drawing weapons from a readied place, you can do that and attack in the same round, so long as they're combat ready. So,
okay.
For this round, it sounds like what you're going to be doing is stowing your bow. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So then whatever, that will be the speed of your bow for your action. So...
Let me just check the speed of the bow.
Okay. So in any event, they're acting first. So what happens is one of the lead animals, the one that seems to be directing towards or is snorting and whatnot towards you, Lex, moves up another 15 feet towards you, snorting. And the rest sort of, they're milling about, but the general herd moves about 5 feet further in your direction, following their leader. Alex, you're up next with your empathy.
Okay. There's not like a button for that, so it's a D20?
I don't. Let's see here. I think it's just a role-playing thing.
Press F feel.
Because let's see here.
Ranger imposes a -1 penalty on the die roll for every 3 experience levels he's earned. So a -2 at my 6th level.
So that is a saving throw for something that's trained to attack, to resist. Oh, a wild animal or an animal to train. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it has a saving throw versus rods.
Okay,
At a
and
-2.
at a -2. Okay, so
What we see is Lex. He has his bow out, and so he'll swing the bow behind his back so that it's not showing a weapon, and he'll put his hand out in front of him, and he'll kind of like not kneel, but maybe like crouch down and put his hand up to like show the beast that he's a friend.
Sure. Yeah.
Nature.
Okay. So let's roll here. Okay. So you can go ahead and move yourself 5 feet forward then towards it.
Okay.
The wolf is not reacting at this point. It's watching with those big blue eyes. Okay. And then Tom, you've stowed your bow. You can move half your combat move if you like. So you could move 4 squares.
Well, I'm going to go back to there. Effectively, I'm allowing space that if they do charge, we can try and let them pass through us.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So Tom is backing off, and then Bocho. What does Bocho do? He probably recognizes what Lex is trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. Might go over here and leave maybe like notch an arrow, but hold off on firing anything until unless these things are not receptive.
I'm picturing. Remember that you guys were hunting, so I'm kind of picturing that you guys would have been walking with arrows out anyway, right? Like you wouldn't want to be trying to draw and fire if you get the opportunity.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna the bow will already be notched, and I'll just hold off.
Okay, sounds good. So you move to the side. All right. So then second round. I wonder what might happen. Dave, you're rolling now. Andrew, we thank you for joining us again, but we'll be looking for other people to roll initiative for now. Dave beat my 9. Nice. Incredible. So, Lex, what do you do? I think we'll assume that it's the same actions for now. Lex, you're up first. What are you doing?
Lex is doing the same thing. Just trying to calm the beast and maybe guide the herd around us.
Sure. So you keep your hand outstretched towards this thing, and it's big. You can smell the musky smell of its big, thick hide. There's ice that's caked to the side of this thing, and you can actually see there's a little bit of a clear patch near its haunch, where you can see that there is a brand on it, and this thing comes forward right up to your hand and kind of nuzzles you. Not in really like a super friendly kind of way, but as a sort of testing, stuff. And you can picture this thing is, it's the size of like a bantha, right? So it would be like almost pushing you back with its, with its size. Yeah.
So Lex, I guess he would have had to stand, as it approached, because he's like, I didn't realize it was quite so big. So he's got his hand out, and he's just kind of like, I recognize you're way bigger than me. Like,
So it's sort of
hand to the side of its face, and just kind of guide it to the side.
Okay.
Give it an idea that go off that way, kind of thing.
So it goes over, and you can see like as its head turns, it's got its big, cow eye looking down at you. And it's just, you can tell that this thing is old as well too, and it looks strong as hell. You've been on the back of those war rams, and those things are all just muscle and sinew. And this thing would make it look like it's the house cat compared to the Bengal tiger. And it looks down at you, and then snorts again, and like you're completely concealed by the exhalation of its nostrils for a moment there, and then this thing.
The brand? Does the brand look like the brand of the any creatures that we've met or tribes? Or
you know what it looks like? The writing is similar to the writing that you've seen in the Goliath's caves.
Oh, really?
in both of them. Yeah, yeah. It may be the same alphabet, similar to Dwarven, but different enough that you would tell the difference. And this thing turns, and then slowly the entire herd at this thing's direction begin lumbering off towards the east, away from you guys and down the slope. Once the last of them goes, I guess the head of the herd, the bull, turns back and kind of looks over in your direction, turns, and then stomps off. Bocho says, "It's good we did not down any of them. They were marked. We would be seen as poachers."
I suspected as much as soon as I saw the symbol, and like, belonging to someone, whether that's your tribe or another, we would need permission.
Not of our folk. Giants.
Ah,
The ice.
Oh,
The ice giants.
ice giants. Nice.
So
Not the ice giants.
then, with that sign, Bocho takes it as perhaps, rather than stumble across their master, he takes it as a sign of perhaps now is the time to return back to home.
yeah. I think Tom agrees with him.
All right. So then, with you guys arriving back home, Cola has prepared that oil of pain, and that will be you guys will enjoy some fowl for dinner this evening. Guys, we're at our midway point. Why don't we take our mid-session break right now? We'll come back and see what you guys choose to do with the next day before meeting up with the others. So, and then we'll check in with chat as well too. So, for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay. I need to go grab coffee in just a moment. I've had to make some fresh coffee. Let's check in with chat here. Is DM pouring a fresh vodka? I am not, no. Fred, what's shaking? Good morning. Time for AD&D. Best luck to the quarantine heroes. Awesome. Very nice. Brian, good morning. Jeffrey, good morning. Obviously need more alcohol on hand. Yeah, most definitely. Oh, boy. Wayne, what's going on? The game has me looking up medieval healing herbs at the moment. Very awesome. That's great. Oh, man. Let's see here. Quantifel, morning. I think this might be a first time for you. Welcome, welcome. Crumb, what's going on? Trolls riding Biden into battle sounds epic. Yeah, Crumb, it's so cool. It's such a great part of that game. The game, this old Iron Kingdoms, has many, many really great things about it. The original RPG, they're kickstarting, or at least they're going to kickstart soon, a 5th edition version of it, and it's great because it'll hit a wider audience with that particular setting. But it's a bit of a shame because the system itself for the other game that they came up with was pretty cool, and the Troll Riders, or the Long Riders, Trollkin Long Riders, were just awesome. And the way that you made characters in that, one of the things you chose was 2 different professions, so you could have a Trollkin Long Rider as one of your professions, and then a bunch of other, your decision on your next selection would affect what the overall particular character would be. So you could really play a campaign with Trollkin Long Riders, but you could have a lot of variety in what the characters were, so it was pretty awesome. Nice, you have to burn them all when you're done. Nice. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Hope that the weekend is going well for you thus far. Let's see here. I think everyone's back now. Oh, Dave's not back yet. I gotta grab coffee. I'll give 5 minutes for my coffee to brew, and I'll go recharge so I can recharge. All right. Oop. Zoom in. Okay. So, nothing else will happen the first day while you're waiting for the people to come back from Wormdoom Crag. And for the start of the second day, Kola, you'll heal, first off, you'll heal 3 because of your ministrations. The combination of your herbs and your natural, and your healing proficiency.
All right.
Okay, so
Austin as well, or
yes, yep. Austin will go up to a full 36, I guess.
Just thinking, there's probably no point in trying to. Well, I could try to cast Dispel Magic again. Because
Yes.
I know from yesterday when I did detect magic that it was still there after
Yep.
my ministration. So I could make a second attempt.
Yeah. What you would know as well is that whatever, even though you couldn't detect the specific swirling of magical, whatever that magic was that was wrapped up in Tom's aura, you may not be able to identify it, but you know it shouldn't be there, or it wouldn't be there normally. I don't think that you have specifically cast detect magic around Tom before, so
No.
maybe
No,
he's
so
got.
it wouldn't be used, but as far as I know, and I've been traveling with Tom for quite a while now, that at least a few months at this point
Yep.
in game, that Tom's a pretty down to earth, as in quite normal human, nothing magically special about him that I'm aware of.
No.
So it would strike me as odd. So I know that this isn't natural and that this is not something that, right? So even if I don't know that this is definitely the thing that is affecting him, I would imagine.
One of the things. So one of the things you can compare it to is the magical, the illusion that is bound to Grim. So Grim has that magical affliction on him. Tom seems to have this now. You don't see this on anybody else.
Okay. So essentially all we're really trying to establish here then is that, Kola has a reasonable. It is reasonable for Kola to conclude that his dispel attempt yesterday was unsuccessful.
Correct.
And we figure we still have at least another day before we hear from Wormdoom Crag. So
Yep.
I might as well spend the time trying again.
Yep. You have the day, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will do that again.
Great job with the
Follow it up by
ghost
another
growth too, Dave.
I was a little worried that we were going to get stampeded. We were rolling up two characters.
Yeah.
And Cola would be sitting there going like, "Oh no, where are my friends?"
Hope you guys like the names Bocho and Juliku, because that's who you're playing now. So.
Yeah. Well, Lex found a way to
Goliath
get rid
PC.
of the Tom problem.
Sir, what was that?
I said Lex found a way to get rid of the Tom problem. We'll just take him out and get us all stampeded.
Yeah, really?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
So-
right. I don't do anything. You do this. You.
So here we go. Let's see. Okay.
I saw eyebrow raises. That's either very good or very bad.
So, 1 second. I'm gonna leave it to. Okay. Okay. I was letting Tom know, or Mo know what Tom is thinking. So
I
Mo,
was thinking, time to drink.
Tom is thinking it's time to start drinking.
Well, he's going to be a bit surprised and say, "Well, what are you trying to do?" No, look. But presumably you've caught him on the hop, and it goes off because it's a really fast close.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess he could try to interrupt me. That's true. Are you going to try to stop me?
He doesn't know what he...
So I don't actually know what that is, do I?
No.
You would know that I'm casting magic and I'm directing it at you, but so the question is, would you know the difference between my healing magic that I cast at you on a regular basis and other types of magic that I cast, or like would you just be nervous about anything I'm doing to you right now?
He probably would be nervous, but obviously there is no thing like spellcraft in this, so he's not going to say, "Oh, well, that's obviously I've seen like a dispelling magic before, so I'm worried."
There actually is.
Honestly,
There is a proficiency called spellcraft.
but it's not something a fighter would ever have, really.
9.
Yeah.
And like,
Okay,
how's your dwarvish? Because whenever I do my incantations, they're in dwarvish.
Well, we spent
Dwarven.
enough time, so Dwarvish was one of the languages I was adding to my.
Right.
I probably know what. I probably wouldn't know the. I imagine spellcasting is probably using fairly arcane. Probably
It's like the
Latin,
or whatever. It's
so
like
you're
I'm
probably
using
not using colloquial dwarven that miners use, which is probably what I'm using, and you're like.
Imagine
Okay,
the
well-
difference between modern English and and more like medieval English.
Yeah. All right. So then once that occurs, what do you do?
To whom are you asking?
Asking Tom.
Well, eventually they've done it, haven't they? No, I think he'll just. He is subconsciously trying to protect himself from that, but he's not. It's not super in front of his mind. So I think he just let him do it, but say, "Well, what are you doing?" and try and like. But then presumably he goes, boom.
Yep.
So. I mean, it's if they suddenly two Goliaths grabbed me and they said, "Right, we're going to cast a spell magic on you," that would be different.
Yeah. This more goes off than, without you really getting a chance to combat it. So then, once you were freed, Tom, what do we see?
So effectively, I have now lost the sort of.
The charm is gone, like I said.
Oh, right. I'll say go.
You got to read those notes I send you.
He literally starts walking away.
Oh, right. So presumably I do start to shake my head and feel, well, that felt a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a breath of fresh air. I don't know quite what happened. I didn't actually find contact with black ice or anything, did I?
Well.
Not that you recall, no.
Oh.
Cole, can you detect anything on him?
Oh, I intend to. So Tom, friend, you said a breath of fresh air. Do you describe it more? I need to know if this worked. Do you feel lighter? Do you hear anything other than us talking to you?
No. I suppose it feels like I've had a good rest. It's like you're ready to face the day, whereas I felt a bit like worried about what was going to happen before that.
Here's a good question then. Why did Longclaw die?
Oh, the Knolls killed him.
Right. And
Oh.
anything else? Any reasons why?
Oh, for some reason the other Knolls told me I should do it.
I looked to
It's
Lex.
like a very dim memory, but I'm sure someone told me that he'd been taken over by an evil spirit and had to die, but the Knolls shot him before that.
So I'll turn to Lex. It seems like he's seeing the world a bit more rationally now, but just to be sure, Tom, I'm gonna cast a spell around us. It's just gonna detect whether or not there's any magic affecting us here and give me a sense of what's going on. And I'll cast Detect Magic again.
Okay, I'll put the Netherese sword to one side, just so that doesn't mess things up.
Sure.
And the mask.
Oh, don't worry about that. I know that's magical.
What you see is that he's doing... I think what Mo might be getting at is that he's doing something different now, as opposed to he may have been trying to conceal a magical aura before.
Right, he's trying to be more like upfront about...
Yeah, is that right, Mo?
Yeah, I'm kind of assuming that it's all a bit of a blur, what really happened now.
Yeah,
But he vaguely remembers it, but it's not like crystal clear remembering. It's like, well, someone told me something, and I'm trying to remember who.
Yeah. I think there's also a feeling, like once more of it settles in, there would be a feeling of violation as well too, because like the what you're remembering now is some of the dreams that you've had over the last 2 days. And the dreams are vicious and bloody and almost primal, of you pursuing things, the taste of coppery blood on your tongue. It's going to be something that lingers with you for, not magically or in a compelling kind of way, but in just the memory of this thing being in your mind is going to be there for a while. The sensation of mighty jaws breaking down, cracking open bones, and tasting the, succulent juice within. What you see in the from casting detect magic is that there is that swirling, uncertain vortex of magical energies you saw before, completely and utterly gone.
Okay. Lex, I'm quite a bit more certain this time. Tom is free. It worked this time.
Good. That's excellent news.
That's one less problem we need to deal with now. But I think I will take some measures to protect us as best I can. I'm limited in what I can do, but I will do what I can.
Excellent.
Okay. So then, what would you guys like to do next today? Do you wish to look for herbs? Do you wish to go hunting? Or are you kind of getting yourself ready? Dave, I saw that Lex was thinking about making... is he a Fletcher? Does he have fletching?
Yeah, he's Bowyer Fletcher.
Oh, great.
So I don't know. Like I figured that when an arrow breaks off, then Lex usually trying to when the arrow's broken, he tries to take the arrowheads. So he's probably got like a small bag of arrowheads.
Yeah, I buy that. Absolutely.
And then when he has time, we have like downtime during the day. He'll like strip the twine off the arrowheads and the remnants of the old arrow, and take out a whittling knife and just kind of clean some shafts up, and then reaffix a new head. And it'll take time. You probably won't be able to make a whole lot during a day, but
Okay.
Can we actually buy arrows here?
They will be giving you arrows. If you guys are going to face the spirit of hunger to Kelly, then they're going to be supporting that.
today I only make one because I was distracted by Tom.
What about Cola? Do you want to go looking for any herbs today?
Yeah, I can't think there's much else that Cola would want to do here.
Okay.
So yeah, sure.
Okay. We're assuming Gorwin is working on his thing, so nothing today. Gorwin is working on his Goliath language skills with some of the patient warriors, or perhaps with Kaniaka. And then, unless there's anything else you guys wish to do with your day, that brings us to the end of that day. Oh, Osen should have healed 3. And then
So would the Goliath have sheath arrows, or
they can make either. The flight arrows are more likely the thing that's used for hunting, so it's probably more flight arrows than sheath. But they also, I mean, they do hunt big prey as well too, so I could see why they may have a variety.
Yeah, well, I was thinking Tom uses a short bow, so he can only use
flight. Okay, yeah. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go grab my coffee. I think that's ready now. And then you guys plan. You will be tomorrow. You'll be heading out at half day, but you will have a morning to get things ready if you wish.
So in terms of strategy, how do we want to fight this guy? Strikes me we really need...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, assuming we want to get 2 of the big fighters to try and box him in, while some of the others try and keep the gnolls away.
Yeah, I think if we get down to it, all 3 of us have magical weapons, so we should be able to defeat it. But keeping the gnolls off our backs might be the duty of Osten and any of the Goliaths that come with.
Well, and if he has added to his pack since awakening as well too. That is something Kaniaka will remind you, is that the concern they had over Longclaw, if Longclaw had fallen to Kelly, that he could have joined his damned pack.
Right.
So that's something to remember after the battle. Is even if we have to run off, or even if we kill him but he's killed other people, he might rise through other means. I've heard of these undead. Can be very hard to finish off 100%.
We might just be, in a sense, weakening it. We don't know what we can do. So,
yeah.
You think it's a sort of persistent sort of spirit?
Not sure. Cole, are you able to make holy water? Are you able to bless some water for us?
Holy snowballs.
I think that's more of a cleric thing. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Let's take a look here.
Allegor's a specialty priest, so presumably, but it's not like there's a description here that specifically says I could take, or I could
I don't
do
know
that.
if there's an actual way of making holy water, or if you just.
I think there is. It's back here. It's.
Cleric.
I think it's that ceremony spell that John pointed out. Can't remember what it's called. Here we go. Yeah, consecrate. Consecrate item is the item, and it is, as long as you're a third level spell, you can as long as you're a third level cleric, you can consecrate item as part of your thing. So if you want to create some vials of holy water, you're certainly welcome to do so. It's just a first level spell.
Is it? I'm not seeing it in the PHP, but
No, it's in the pre-spell compendium.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ceremony.
Should probably get those print on demand or something like that.
I don't even know if this. There are some of them. Like there's the there's three volumes of the priest one, 4 volumes of the magic one, or the mage one, and then there are 4 books of magic items. And I don't know.
So is that something we could have said that Cola had prepped for today in a downtime day to?
If it's a downtime day, yes. I have a number of first levels. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 that are free. I want at least 1 cure light in there, 3 protections from evil. I want to keep my silver beard in there too. So
what I'll
I gotta
do, guys, is
I can take it and take it one of the protections from evil. Oh, actually, wait. Well, no, we'll still need that. Yeah.
I will let you. I'll let you create. I'll use the sort of exponential thing for magic missile to tell you how many. So, like, if you're 6th level right now, so each casting of consecrate or of a ceremony and using it to consecrate item will create 3 vials of holy water.
Okay.
Couldn't you have done this on a down day and we take it with us? Because I don't think they run out.
I think this is the down day? No.
This is your down day, yeah. Last day you guys...
We're leaving
Yeah, we're
midday
leaving
tomorrow.
to the midday tomorrow, so presumably you could
Okay.
do some
So
time.
Well, he was busy
fine.
yesterday preparing that oil.
yeah. So today would be the day I do this.
Okay.
And that's fine. So I can do, 2 or 3 castings of those. That would give us like up to 9 vials.
Okay.
And I'm happy to say that that's what I do today. Like that's,
Okay.
well, that and I guess I did an herbalism check earlier.
Yeah, you went... I mean, that's only part of your morning sort of prep anyway. Lex and Tom, is there anything you guys wish to do today?
Well, I'm going to maybe have presumably some of the Goliaths speak common, don't they?
Yep.
I'm going to maybe talk to them about, well, these ice giants. I'm a little worried that the ice witch, maybe the white witch, might be in contact with them. Do they have much sort of do they actually talk to or trade with the giants? At all?
Very, very rarely. They
I don't know. I just wondered if the giants have been changing in mood or been more violent.
they're always violent. So to tell the difference is it would be difficult to measure. They just keep to their own. The many of the folk who inhabit the spine of the world mountains, they know to sort of keep to their, unless they're out for war, they keep to their area. And the giants can be quite belligerent in that sense, but they haven't gone to war against the folk in living memory.
All right, well, I'm just making a note of it because that could be another area where she's trying to stir up trouble.
They haven't seen anything yet, but these giants, since before the Goliaths ever came to the spine of the world mountains, they have been here, and they've never been particularly friendly. Lex, anything for you you wish to do apart from making those arrows?
No, Lex is gonna just kind of spend some time.
Oh, and Lex,
Better eye.
that'll be not 1 arrow, that'll be 10. Because you could, I mean, it is not that, like, you're not, the shafts and stuff, you've got other people to help with that. The Goliaths make their stuff as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so count that as 10. And give us a proficiency roll. I got an idea here. Oh, fuck.
Make some shitty arrows.
Well, that's basically it. So here's what these shitty arrows are going to do. What I was going to let you do is to, if you would have got a crit, to make them masterwork.
Okay.
But because you failed, doesn't mean you didn't make them. You don't suddenly like, oh, I don't know how to make this stuff. Instead, what it'll be is using those 10 arrows, you'll get a penalty of -1 damage, -1 to hit, or +1 to weapon speed. What do you think?
And so it's
I'll leave it to you, or you can randomly generate it if you like. You just roll, whichever one is your preference.
so -1 to hit, -1 damage, or -1 weapon speed.
Yeah, like the inverse of the masterwork stuff.
Okay. I think they're. I'm going to say this match is not as sharp. Maybe the heads aren't as fixed, or the heads are getting a little worn out.
Yep.
So they're -1 damage for these 10.
Okay, nice. All right. So it'll only be for those 10, but yeah, that's what's happened with this batch. Okay, then, guys. What? Is there anything else you wish to do before tomorrow? Cola, you've crafted 9 holy waters.
Well, Tom's going to suggest that we have a group meal this evening with the people who are going with us. Also, as a bit of way of building morale, but also it might get us another slot on the ring.
Yeah, you would have had 2 more charges with the ring, too. Cola?
Okay. Yeah,
So
I think that brings us to... Actually, it's good. We're at then... Wait, that's the wrong box. We're at 14 then.
Okay. And then you'll be able to add 1 more for this evening.
Well then.
Hey, Cola, what are the chances that you have enough to do a lesser restoration on yourself and get rid of that black ice?
This was at... Oh, which... Is it here where we have the Aarakocra? Or is that at the other... Is that Wormdoom?
It's at the other
Yep,
place,
it's at
I think.
Wormdoom.
Oh, I don't know. I was saving a cure critical for that Aarakocra.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that
I
sounds...
think that's a higher
good idea.
priority right now.
Is it the higher priority? Us trying to have clear heads and save the bloody world, or an Aarakocra who's injured and...
The Aarakocra can bring allies.
I think you're fishing, my friend.
Oh, no, I think
Feeling like taking a wisdom
Tom's going to
check
agree
is
with Cola. We need more allies. I mean, these ice giants sound a little worrying, to be honest.
Tom, he's afflicted with black... Tom, he's afflicted with the black ice, and the black ice is making him not want to heal himself. He's talking like you were talking when you were afflicted by your friend.
I'm sort of looking a bit puzzled by this because I'm still having a fight
perfectly
with it.
fine. I'm able to keep it all all straight.
You know what, Cola? I feel a whole lot better going into battle with the White Witch if I know you're not going to see some black ice and do something ridiculous.
And I feel a whole lot better going into the battle with the White Witch with as many allies as we can get.
There's no guarantee that healing an Aarakocra is going to get us any allies whatsoever.
And he seems like a fairly reasonable fellow.
And
Good for
he's
his work.
also completely inconsequential to what's going on.
All right. So the long and the short, it sounds like Cola's not going to use that ability on himself. Is that right, Andrew?
I feel like I need to be convinced a little bit more.
Okay. So we'll table that for now, and we will return to the next day. So the next day, you guys are setting out, and you'll have your 2 allies with you. Sorry for the reason I took us off the map is just to give some variety to the visuals here. I thought this was a cool way of really picturing what you guys are moving through. Now, boom. Let's move back to the Icewind Dale. Okay, so then there we go.
I wonder if Lex would be pissed off if he found out that the ring has had enough charges to do a restoration spell on Cola for at least the last few sessions. It only takes 10.
Oh yeah, I know. I just I'm trying to think of an argument that's going to.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to like. This isn't Andrew trying to be obstinate here. I think, like, I'm trying to be. It's realistic that Cola is still affected by this, and it still does have a hold on him to some extent.
Yeah,
it's in his blood after all. And I think he's gonna need to either be persuaded really strongly, or perhaps even need to get enough beer into him, so he's a little bit more susceptible to suggestion. To convince him, I think, because rationally he understands Lex, and he agrees that this is important. He just can't bring himself to do it.
He can't. But see, that makes your argument makes it sound like Cola is not in control, and yet he's done things that show that he has. It sounds like you're almost overplaying it, to be honest. He was able to give us back the chunk of black ice, and he's done things since then that show that he's generally in control of himself. If he's generally in control of himself, then would he really be not willing to?
These are good points. You know what? If it's all right, Kevin, if I can backpedal a bit.
Of course.
That night, I think Cola will downplay Lex in the moment. But I think maybe that evening before bed, Cola will find some quiet time by himself. Maybe go outside into the cold to as a way of just... The cold has a way of refreshing the mind and keeping one focused.
Yep.
He'll look back. He doesn't have directional sense or anything, but he'll look where he feels is the general direction of home.
Okay.
Because earlier in the day, when they were trying to, over the past couple days dealing with Tom, when he said to Lex, he was trying to compare what Tom was going through to what he had gone through back in the valley.
Yep.
And of course, this brought back feelings of home and his mother, and he's not really processed the fact that he's killed his mom and his uncle, and he still haven't dealt with the emotional ramifications of that. And I think in that moment, he'll say a prayer to Clangeddon, hold my holy symbol, and take clasp the ring. Not that actually is necessary, but he'll do that. And I'll take 10 charges and cast Restoration on myself.
Okay. The wind continues to howl around you. The snow blowing bites your face. You feel no different. Though you weren't feeling under control at the time either. Remember, you've been feeling normal apart from you don't recall having dug up that chunk of ice from those black ice berserkers. You haven't been feeling the pull of it the way you had been when you were in the Dwarven Valley, so maybe it worked. Maybe not.
But it doesn't feel, because there was in the Dwarven Valley, there was a very clear distinction between when I felt the pull and when I did not.
Definitely, yep.
And the restoration that we used on the pirates was a direct intercession from Baranor. This time, I prayed to the wrong god in this case. Well, that's fine. Clangeddon is my go-to anyways. He's my primary deity. That would be,
he's in your circle.
Not such a special.
Cola's Instagram's got Clangeddon as close friends.
Yeah. It's not.
No, but like, an Allegor would not suddenly like. I wouldn't switch my devotions to Baranor.
No.
Because then I would cease to be an Allegor. Like I am devoted to Clangeddin.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine like Baranor and Clangeddin's like allegiances and like
it would be so
at odds with one another.
You know what you could think of it as is it would be like service members from two different branches in the American military. And how they feel, like setting aside the like rivalry and whatnot, that sort of is caught up in the military service stuff, but like I don't know, like you might recognize that like there are times when the Marines are useful even if you're a soldier in the army, right. And that's for those listening at home who have served. My apologies for doing such a terrible job of using that as an analogy, but what I mean is that like it would not be your chain of command. It wouldn't be your, it wouldn't be your true allegiance.
The same goal and purpose here in the end.
Precisely. Yeah.
I think the metaphor is, if a little butchered, the metaphor works.
It's strained. It's very, very strained.
Okay.
So would you guys give me a 3D10 roll, please? Okay. Okay, so there's Bocho's hit points. And would you kindly give me a 3D8 roll, please?
He doesn't get the Tom rule on the third one?
They ain't PCs, so...
Somebody else want to do the 3D8?
Could be an older guy who's trying to prove his worth at this point. I will modify it further. I've assumed he's going to have at least a +1 with his Constitution because they've got pretty good Constitution. Nice. Wow. All right. And there is Jollicoos. Okay. So she's the druid. Bocho is the ranger. Hold on. You know what? Goliaths get +1 hit dice, don't they?
I don't know.
I think. Where is it here? That's one of the Goliaths. Yeah, +1 hit point per class level. I forgot. Okay, so that means Bocho actually has 17 hit points. And Joliku actually has 21. Thanks to Mo's awesome roll. Okay. Then, guys, you'll be setting forth from Sky Tower Shelter to head up to meet up with the contingent from Wormdoom Crag. So, first thing we need, first thing is you have the morning. You're only going to need to travel for part of the day in order to get, the plan is to get to the foot of the mountain and then tomorrow meet up with them. Why don't you guys, first off, is there anything you guys wish to do in your morning?
I will talk to Lex. It strikes me that actually it might have been valuable to have brought Lex with me into the evening outside when I did that, so that he knew that I'm doing this and I'm not just making it up that I used the ring. So, I mean, we could do it either way. We can either do it where Cola, in fact, was smarter than Andrew and thought to bring Lex along so that he saw him do this, or I think, I go in the next morning.
That's a level of edit I'm not willing to allow.
Then that's fine. In fact, I think the privacy would have been important to Cola anyway.
Dwarves are stubborn, notoriously stubborn too. So
but we're also fiercely dedicated to our word. Our word means everything. So I think Lex would know. The only reason I would lie is if I was still under the influence, which of course doesn't help my argument much. But
yeah,
I will tell Lex. I'll tell you, Lex, that I did this.
Well, there was.
I don't have any knowledge of if it worked or not. I don't feel any different.
Well, Lex just kind of bends down a little bit, He maybe grabs you by the helmet and tilts your head back, and he looks into the eye that had the black flecks to see if they're there.
Sure. Let me roll this closer to the mic so you guys
Get a
know.
torch. Move the torch around.
Yeah. My son and I watched, we binged a bunch of episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm last night, so I've got that, like, Larry David looking really close in his eye kind of thing in mind. You, as far as you can tell, Lex, there's nothing unusual about Cola. You don't see the flecks in his eye any longer.
Well, my friend, those black flecks that were in your eye since you've been infected, they're not there.
You'll see my shoulders slump a little. Well, that's some reassuring news.
Lex puts his hand on your shoulder and gives you kind of a bit of a happy shake and goes, "Welcome back. Now we've got everybody hopefully in the right frame of mind. We can do this."
Cut to Tom outside. Master! Master! Okay.
Oh, no.
So, then let's so let's talk about your morning. So you guys had that conversation. Do you want to roll for herbalism? Do you want to do hunting, or you guys just want to stock up on supplies? They will supply you with whatever food you can carry. Assume that it will be iron rations. They'll dip into those supplies, so they'll be lighter, and you'll be able to carry, and they will last longer.
No, I think
Cole is feeling eager to go.
yeah. I might take 10 regular arrows from them and just top up my quiver, but
Okay.
that's it.
Excellent.
Yeah, all of them bought some arrows from the.
You don't need to buy them; they'll give them to you.
Okay, well, we can have a couple of quibblers worth then.
Like the
Stack
overall
one.
tone that the tribe has taken, if you guys are taking it upon yourself to not only, like, it's great that they have champions from the tribe that are going with you, and there are champions coming from the others, but it's not lost on the tribe that it's you guys going out to try and defeat this spirit. So while Rockfist is never going to really sing your praises, or at least it doesn't appear likely, the tribe is cognizant of what you guys are trying to do here. So with that, guys, Dave, let's check out what the weather is like. Weatherman, for this coming day. I think it's 20 you can carry.
I thought.
I think it's 20 in a quiver. I could be wrong, but I know quiver's listed in the PHB.
Yeah. I'm going to have 20 in the quiver and 20 securely on the ram,
Okay.
properly hidden so it can't get blown away again.
Now, are you guys planning on... Yeah, are you bringing those with you?
I'm thinking we leave the rams here.
Yeah, maybe. I'll just take 20 with me and I'll have 20 left on the ram
Okay.
for later. I'm going to suggest that we lend some of our silvered longswords to... is there a fighter amongst the group who can use my silvered longsword?
The ranger might, but
It's unlikely that they're specialized in longswords. Longswords is not really a... there is...
right.
there is a fighter that's going to be joining you, but it's unlikely that they specialize in longsword.
Wouldn't their weapons, like, wouldn't the Goliaths generally make their weapons, like, the size of us? Like, well, not quite that extreme.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to be used to a slightly larger weapon than we carry, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like, they would treat what you would think of and use as a great sword, they would probably just use as a sword.
They're not quite that... I mean, they are really big. Like, they're easily 3 feet taller than you. But they're not... There isn't, like... They don't get the mechanical benefit of being able to use a great sword as a one-handed sword. Yeah.
Okay.
You'd have to be... Like, an ogre can do that. But the ogres are, like, 9 feet tall as opposed to the 7.5 that Goliaths are.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So, Dave, give us a... roll here. Okay. So it is snowing. The wind isn't that bad, but holy shit is it snowing. It is heavy snow. Yeah, that's going to be your first day down. So that is, whew. If you guys take your time, I'm only going to make you make one con check for fatigue.
Okay.
So what that will mean is just you'll get to the very base of the, there you go, of the mountains. So each of you give me a Constitution check, please. Roll your Constitution or less on a D20. And I will roll for encounters.
Success. One of the few times I haven't managed to blow that up. Yeah, we get attacked by a herd of ice giants.
You're really fixated on those ice giants.
No.
Cola. We're gonna need to take a 2-hour break.
I think all that energy. I've been using a lot of magic the last 2 days. I'm clearly very tired.
Mm-hmm.
Were you suffering from any con or dex drain?
No.
Okay. So then, Tom,
Well,
you've
maybe
got.
did I have Dex drain? I've got a low Dex to begin with.
Tom, you've got like con or dex drain still.
Both. I have get my character sheet. I'm down 1 dex and 2. No, I'm down 2 dex and 1 con.
That's where I should have used the restoration spell.
That'll be the next one.
Okay. So the trip down is otherwise uneventful. So you guys make your way to the pace. I mean, you guys do have 3 points of astonishing fortune as well. If you want to roll Cola or spend one of those to re-roll.
Actually, yeah, we don't have much time.
Otherwise, we just have a 2-hour. Can we just take a 2-hour break and he rests?
Yes, as long as you take 2 hours to rest up, you can get rid of the fatigue condition.
Well, in that time, though, the weather could also get much worse, too. I mean, we've got half an hour left in the session. I think risking one of the astonishing fortunes is not terrible at this juncture.
Until Cat throws ice packs.
If you don't want me to do it, I won't do it. We'll just wait 2 hours. That's fine, too.
Just eat it.
Right.
Go ahead. Yep. All right, so Cola's fine. All right, so you guys reach the base of the mountain leading up to Sky Tower Shelter, and you guys are able to make your camp. The evening passes cold, but uneventfully. Lax, would you kindly give us a weather roll, please, for tomorrow? Let's see what we're looking like. Oh, and everyone cross off 1 ration as well, too, please. You guys have...
I'll just go to the party rations and make an edit there.
Yeah.
You're doing it. Okay.
We've got 3 for us, 2 for Roaston.
Assume that you guys will have 2 weeks of iron rations that Bocho and Joliku were carrying.
Okay. I'll just put that in a note in case we don't need it.
They'll carry 14 days worth of that. Sorry, did I say 2 weeks each, or did I say 2 weeks in general?
I think it's the 2 weeks.
Okay, so 2 weeks each, yeah. So it'll be 24 days worth of rations. They'll be carrying. You guys don't need to worry about that encumbrance. Okay, then. Okay, so let's see your roll here. So there is no precipitation today. The wind isn't that bad, and it's partially overcast. So really, like all things considered, it's not a terrible day for you guys. So let's see what, however, the random encounter might be for today. Okay, let's see. Man, I had tagged the, or not tagged, but like marked the page with the random encounters in it in Rime of the Frost Maiden for like basically since we started using it, and then because I have had to read the sections on it, I have taken that out and I have not got back in the habit of marking it, so let's start doing that right now. There we go. The random encounter I rolled for you, a Goliath party. So you run into your allies, or your new allies. That's funny. All right, so then, guys, and what you find is, let's see if I've got any further. Let's see if D&D makes a difference here.
D&D? You mean Durgar and Daggers?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, excellent. Okay, so here we go. We got our fighter thief, Goliath.
Every time you say Goliath, I'm waiting for someone to say online.
Online? Why is that?
StarCraft.
Oh.
Every time you click on Goliath, it's one of the randomly said in the old game.
Yeah, I never played
Goliath
StarCraft back in the day.
Goliath
That's funny.
online.
Okay, so there is her, and then the Scald. Let's see here. Let's use this here. There we go. Both those are from Wizards as well, too. Let's see. Actually, here with this, I like this one better. Boom. There we go. Okay. And then what I will do is I'll use this one instead of Bocho. Yeah. There we go. Use that instead of Bocho, so we got a more of a face view. Okay, so guys, let me quickly set up the tokens for your allies as well. Bocho, Tall Shadow. Oop. Controlled by all of you guys. Hit points, 17. One overlapping. And C. Boom. Okay, you guys can all see the new Bocho token.
Bocho.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we got the woman is Usko Pine Strider. Would you guys give us? Let's see here. 3D 10 and 3D 4. No, 3D 6. Please. She is multi-class. Multi-class.
Oops. That's awesome.
Okay, so 7. And then 3D 10, please. 23, okay. So, we'll take a second. 16. All right, so 20. I'm going to use the first ones again. So that's 24, 23. Divide by 2 is 12. Plus 1 for con, plus 3 for con, plus 3 for being a Goliath is 18. So she has 18 hit points.
And then Cola, yours is for the other fighter?
Yeah, we'll use that for the other. Oh, well, actually, he's a Scald, so it's 3d6 is what I need for him.
Come on, Mouse. This is getting. Oh.
Eesh.
He's a sickly Scald. He's like.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe he's incredibly powerful. Like,
maybe he needs to use my rule.
Well, he's not a PC, so
No, yeah.
he does not have that that advantage. Overlapping. All right, there you go. So there's Usko. Yeah, really.
He's coughing up blood every time he casts a spell.
He does have 11, though, because of the combination of his Goliath ability and his Constitution.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it's not, one look and he'll die, but... Okay, guys. So you should all see and be able to control, I think, all of your Goliath allies. Let me make sure that Usko is set up properly. Boom. There you go. You guys should be able to control everybody now. Is that right? Excellent.
I can't control Softwind.
Chiliku Softwind.
Or
Chaluko?
verified.
Okay, here we go.
I can't touch Chalukos either.
Okay. So, Softwind, yeah, how about now, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to move them down to just under you guys, because they are... There we go. Your support. Okay. So, then... what is the plan here, guys? Are you intending on just... Oh, wrong thing. Are just moving straight up towards the kind of the caves of hunger here, or what?
Would it be nice if we could catch the spirit out in the open rather than its home?
But what the Rangers have told you is that if you have any hope of actually destroying this thing permanently, that will be found in its lair.
Yeah, we need to go into the lair. So we might as well start heading towards that area. It's going to take us a couple days, probably 2 days, day and a half.
Okay. All right, then. So we will, let's have you guys rest and go the next day. Let's see here. I'll check one thing. Okay. I want to see one thing that's in here. Okay. Let's see here. Let's start with Mo. Mo, would you give me a D20 roll and a D100 roll? We are using something out of the DMG for 2nd edition. Okay. All right. So, Joliku is both optimistic and laconic. We're doing is just going to randomly generate some personality traits for these guys so we know how to roleplay them. So she is, if you engage with her, she is quite optimistic, and but she is not quick to share her thoughts. Andrew, would you kindly give me a D20 roll and a percentile roll, please? Let's see what Bocho is like. Okay, 33. And then an 8. Okay.
I'm going to put this in the party notes so we don't lose it.
Sure. So Bocho is both friendly and harsh. So he's probably a pretty
He's
friendly...
aggressively friendly.
Well, he's probably like quite friendly, but quite happy to share his opinion of something or someone. You know, he may just be a very gregarious, overly, and just doesn't temper his words with caution or with any care for how they may be received. So he probably is being quite friendly with you guys, but is quite happy to point out when you or any of the other members fuck up. Dave, let's give us a D20. Let's see what Usko is like. A D20 and a percentile roll, please. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Whoa. I love it. Usko is greedy and lustful. She's Conan. Great melancholies and great mirth. Fantastic. Oh, man. And then finally, we'll go back to Mo. Would you give us another D20 and a D100? Let's see what Garanig. Okay. Interesting for a bard. He is generous and shy. So he may be of that breed of performer that like comes alive on stage, but is otherwise quite happy to have privacy and keep his thoughts to himself.
What class is Usko?
Usko is a fighter thief.
Even more Conan.
Oh, she's totally Conan, yeah. Completely.
And Jaluku is the druid?
Jaluku is a druid, yep. Bocho is a ranger, and Gernig is a bard with a scald kit. Okay.
Added our Goliath allies personality information and classes.
Pretty great. Okay, then. So I think that Usko, over the course of this first meeting between you guys, it sounds like Usko is going to be quite interested in learning more about the world beyond. She wants to hear, like, having met some of you guys before, she is quite interested in hearing about what, you know, what's beyond the peaks that she knows, what's beyond the what do you call it, the spine of the world mountains, the riches, the armor, the weaponry that you guys have managed to accrue is of particular interest to her. Both Jellicoe and Gernig probably have as quiet and fairly nice individuals. They may be the ones who share they make the first tentative connection between the tribes, with Usko and Bocho kind of personifying the antagonism between the Tunlaka and the Eric. What is it? The Akan? I've completely drawn a blank. Arakagi? I can't remember. What's the Sky Tower one called again? Akhenathi.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, guys, the evening will pass uneventfully, apart from the sort of chirping back and forth between Usko and Bocho. What do you guys interact with? Do you see any of your characters interacting with these fellows or ladies as they settle in?
Well, I'll chat with some of them. If Usko wants to know about life in the South, I can tell her a few things.
Most definitely she does. Oh, yeah.
She probably wouldn't like all the politics, which is why I came up here. Too much backstabbing between individual houses and...
She... I think that what she probably takes from that is that so you can play them against each other.
Depends if you're the player or the played on. I didn't want to be cannon fodder in the house's intrigue, so that's why I came up here, where cold steel, pats the sword, is much more honest.
Okay. She doesn't strike you as particularly concerned about honesty. What about Cola?
I don't know. I'd probably have to put up with innumerable amounts of jokes about my size.
Bocho probably has made that, yeah. But in a very, like, you know, in a very good-natured way, I think.
I guess, I'll talk about my travels before returning to the Dale. Um, because they'll know that if it comes up that I'm originally from the Dale, they might make some assumptions about my relationship to this land, and I'll probably go into some stories about, well, actually, I spent a great deal of the last few decades not here, and so this is a return home, and blah 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 blah.
So I think Usco is particularly interested in your mercenary service.
Then I'll definitely go into further detail about the work I would do further south.
And Lex, is there anyone who you think that he'd be falling in with, or?
I think Lex, being the outdoorsy half-elf that he is, he's probably going to end up spending most of his time chatting with Ocho, but also, maybe trying to engage the druid. And, he doesn't really know much about druids, so it's an interest in other...
Is there a druid circle in Neverwinter Woods? I don't remember.
I don't recall. I'll have to...
If not...
There's one in the city, because there's a big tree thing.
Yeah, and if your goddess is Myliki, Myliki's her priesthood is druids.
Yeah.
So I think that you probably find a lot of commonalities in belief and in outlook from Jellicoe, and I think she sees your appearance. She's very interested in your wolf, and she's curious what its name is.
I don't know if
the stone wolf or the living.
No, the living one.
The stone. Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Lex is like, I don't know if it's my place to give the wolf a name. I suppose we'll need to call it something when referring to it, but
she looks and says that such things, they have no need for them. It's only because we are limited in our way of communicating with them that we have to give them names.
Right. So I don't know.
I can see from the way it follows you that it seems to favor you most.
One of our other companions, you may have noticed him before you took the flight to the other tribe, Falcarel. He had noticed that there's that white tuft of hair running down its center of its head. Looks, and now that I see it, I can't stop seeing it. It looks like a unicorn horn. Falcarel thought that may be symbolic of Myliki, and
you have to kind of explain what a unicorn is to her.
Yeah,
because they're just not native to these lands. But once you explain it, she says, "Of course you can see that. Who knows how far this and she sort of they're quite liked by animals too. So though the wolf is sort of curled up next to you in the camp, she goes down and kind of scritches it, and this coloring is not of our lands at all. I cannot imagine this creature may have or this beast may have traveled as far and as long as you did to reach the Dale."
I'm wondering that myself.
And this thing is looking up and seemingly listening to both of you as you're talking back and forth quite happily, taking the scritches from Jellicoe. She says, "Perhaps it... I may have spoken out of turn. Forgive me to impose if you don't feel it's your place, but my experience with such things is that if this came to you, its name would come from you." And
maybe I'll seek guidance on that then.
Good. So she, having spoken...
I spent the next little while actually observing the wolf, trying to see if there's any, other than its color, if there's any features that maybe thinks are prominent other than the tufted white fur? What?
It's healthy. It looks like a prime specimen, and in spite of the travel, it still looks, I mean, it's not a domesticated dog. It's not like, it's got a lustrous fur and stuff like that. It's a creature of the wild, for sure. But it is most definitely, it is very mindful of what you do and where you go, and is staying with you. The blue eyes also is a very unusual thing for the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Like puppies, maybe, but not the full-grown animals, for sure. So, then, with Tom and Cola sharing stories of mercenary life down south with Usko, with Lex, Bacho, and Jellicoe, talking about the nature of the wild, with Ostin conversing with Gernig, and I'm imagining that if Gorwin was in the scene, Gorwin would be talking to Gernig too, practicing more of his giant or Jotun phrasings. Guys, I think that's where we'll bring it to an end. So, we didn't mention at the outset either, but it is worth noting, guys, this is session 50 of this campaign.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yep. So that is roughly 150 hours that we have played in the Icewind Dale thus far, which I did not do the calculation, but it is approaching a week of time that we've been playing. If not a week, I should do the math.
What game system was the original adventure created for?
The original adventure was created for 3.5 for 4th edition or for D&D Next. So we certainly have gotten our mileage out of, and this is the totality of the adventure book.
Yeah, it's not big.
It's not big, but we have gotten more than our share of mileage out of it. It's terrific. I think that it, in combination or in concert with the Rime of the Frostmaiden, there's just a ton of stuff you can do with it. It definitely is not something for... I don't think it's something for a first-time DM, because it would definitely require a lot more filling out or fleshing out a lot of elements of the campaign, but it gives a really, 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 really good framework for setting up a campaign with the different competing threats that are going on at the same time, and it definitely lends itself to adaptation to the to stuff out of the Rime of the Frostmaiden as well, too, because it picks up on many of the same tropes, changes some things that I'm just choosing not to change, but really good used in concert with that. In particular because the Dwarven Valley gets almost no attention in Rime of the Frostmaiden, which is a little unusual. I think canonically the Dwarven Valley settlements are a lot smaller than what they're presented in this and the way that we've presented it, but in any event, that's if you're finding that you want more information about the Dwarven Valley in your Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign, you certainly can find that in Legacy of the Crystal Shard. But yeah, so that's great. You guys have new allies. I'll make sure to add character sheets for all of these characters as well too for the next one. But that's great, guys. Let's to celebrate 50. We celebrated a year of time in our Legacy of the Crystal Shard, in our Night Below campaign this past week, and it's the one that prompted this campaign in the first place. So hitting 50, why don't we say this, guys? For today's session, having made new allies, having done some terrific role-playing, let's say that everybody walks away. What is the Astonishing Fortune situation, right? You got 2 left, I think?
Two left.
Two left, okay. So between the 4 of you, including Ostin, although actually Ostin didn't really appear in many of the scenes, I'll still give him XP for this. You guys will each be earning 525 XP for today. I think everyone mostly dinged recently anyway, so it's not going to make a huge dent in your XP, but it gives some value to the role-playing stuff. And Ostin, let's see here. Oop, that's a clock. That's not a... Okay. I tell you, I feel every fucking second of my age when I open up the phone by accident and start trying to do math on it, or I open up the calculator and trying to dial someone on it. you dummy.
I want to get one of those reproduction HP calculators they make in Switzerland, just for old time's sake.
Oh, all right. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 50 of the Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign. Thank you for joining us for so many of these sessions. It's been a huge joy running this for everybody with our rotating cast, and it's been really great seeing so many regulars coming back every session after session after session in chat or in comments or in the Discord server. So thanks for joining us for this. We look forward to the next 50 of the campaign. That's hopefully the quarantine will and the pandemic will be coming to an end before the campaign does, but we will be seeing these heroes for many, many sessions in future. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding this session, the campaign, or the game, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can find a link in the description of this video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server. You can find channels dedicated to this campaign, this game, and every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other stuff like video games and pictures of our pets and finding a group and setting up virtual tabletops or streaming and selecting between the different competing virtual tabletops. Lots of great channels, lots of great people, and lots of great conversation. You are more than welcome to join us on there if you haven't done thus far. In addition, you can find, if you enjoy the session and you don't want to miss future ones, be sure to click on the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when we go live. If you click like on the video as well too, if you enjoyed it, that helps us as well. Thus far, we've been able to supply all of our characters in this campaign and the other campaign with copies of the Player's Handbook, the 89 edition. And we have plans for, or we're starting to make plans for 2021 as well too. That may involve something more than just, appearing or meeting up online. So thank you to everyone who has put up with ads in our campaign, anyone who's supporting us on Patreon. I've also posted a bunch of new house rules onto Patreon as well too. So if you are supporting us on Patreon, be sure to check back there because I've got some custom rules that we're using in this campaign and Night Below. In addition, you can find the schedule for the coming week on the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. You can also find it posted on the Discord server, and I post it to Twitter every Sunday night. And you can find me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and you can reach me by email at dungeonmusings@gmail.com. Last thing I want to say is a big, big thank you to the players. Guys, 50 sessions in. 7th level is our highest level character, which is impressive because you guys have reached 7th level, I think, twice as fast in terms of number of sessions as what the Night Below one did. Because Night Below is at about 86 or 87 sessions right now, and the highest level character we've got there is 7. So it's impressive that you guys have made that much headway. Thank you for helping me, get through the quarantine and the current crisis, guys, with some AD&D. I have thoroughly enjoyed meeting up with you guys Saturdays and Sundays, and I am looking forward to doing that for many months to come, hopefully by choice this time, not by being locked in. So, to Mo, Andrew, and Dave, thank you so much for joining me today, and for everyone else who's joined us, let's make sure I don't miss anyone here. Brandon, John, Arlen, Hobbs, and George, and who else dropped out? And
Jeff.
Both Georges helped joined us for a bit. I think that's everyone who's been to the table thus far.
Jeff joined us.
And Jeff, of course, Jeff was with us for a while too. Thank you to everybody who's jumped in for this too. This has been a really lovely way to have at least one recurring thing. And again, for everyone joining us as viewers as well too, thank you for joining us for this epic journey through the Icewind Dale. I look forward to seeing how our heroes fare against an ancient spirit of hunger in our coming sessions. So once again, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. If you are joining us during the current crisis, we do hope that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. We hope that we've given you a few hours of time to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think of the troubles that our heroes continually get themselves into. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.